Radio.
Hello and welcome to Our Kind Voice on Music. I'm your host, David Levins. And music has played such an important role in the journey of a kind voice. Today we're going to play those songs that have helped shape the journey of a kind voice. And it's a living story, but a kind voice didn't start off focused on music. It started off as a call-in line where ordinary people were kind voices to each other. So if you want to talk about your favorite sports team or a movie or a book, you could call a kind voice. And there was a volunteer at the other end with a kind voice and an open ear ready to have a conversation with you. So we had our words and our website, but we needed some music to embody the spirit of a kind voice. So we took out an ad, and a man named Craig Carone responded with this song called A Kind Voice.
Things are crazy in these troubled days, and sometimes it seems the only place to turn is away. But in that moment you can throw away the fear, 'cause someone else can be just what you need to hear. With a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. You can make that choice to find a kind voice. Yes, we're different, look at you and me. Both have questions, both have answers, both have needs. And though most likely we will often disagree, we can just keep talking, maybe find that we can be a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice. There's nothing wrong with reaching out when you need. I'll be there for you, and maybe you can be for me. With a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice, a few kind words, an open ear for when you need to be heard, a warm heart. We can make that choice to be a kind voice, a kind voice, a kind voice.
Wow, that just summed it up exact. The lyrics and the spirit and how he touches on all the senses, a warm heart, an open ear. So the concept of a kind voice was to live upstream from like depression hotlines, and that if somebody simply needed a kind voice, they could reach out. So when Craig talked about letting go of the fear, and a kind voice might be just what you need to hear. and that I can be a kind voice for you, and maybe you can be a kind voice for me. And we could just talk about ordinary things like movies or books or sports to earn each other's trust, and then the conversation will naturally go where it goes. But it's about people being kind voices for each other. And it's such a beautiful concept. When two people are kind voices for each other, a certain alchemy occurs, that the conversation becomes bigger than the sum of what each of the people bring to the conversation, and a beautiful thing is created. Our next singer, Bruce Grammel, saw the beauty in this and loved the idea of alchemy of kindness. So I'm going to let him introduce the song in his own words and then sing a song.
Hi, this is Bruce Grammel. I wrote my song, The Alchemy of Kindness, after I became familiar with the organization called A Kind Voice. A Kind Voice is a community of volunteers that provide the opportunity for conversation on a variety of topics. The title is one of their slogans, and the phrase really hits home with me. I hope that you'll enjoy my song, and whether you may be a caller or a future volunteer, I hope you'll take the time to find out more about the wonderful folks at A Kind Voice. The alchemy of kindness is one that we believe. When we reach out to each other, you know we both receive. We're always here for you. We're right beside the phone. When kind voices come together, it seems we're never alone. So if you're reaching out, you know we're reaching too. Pick up the phone, that's all you have to do. Call us now if you need a kind voice. If you need a kind voice. If you got some good news you heard the other day. Maybe you read a good book you finished yesterday. How was that new movie you finally went to see? Sports team as good as they should be. If you're feeling down and lonely, a friendly voice is just a call away. Call us now if you need a kind voice. If you need a kind voice. That new class you picked is harder than you thought. Someone to talk to. You know we all need someone who listens well. Call us now if you need a kind voice. When you want a kind voice. When you need a kind voice. When you want a kind voice. Call us now if you need a kind voice.
Wow, the energy that Bruce brings to that song and all the wisdom he brings. If you're reaching out, we're reaching too. What a beautiful visual. And that when kind voices get together, you're never alone. And that's just so true and so right. And Bruce has been a friend to a kind voice for the last couple of years. All those bumpers you hear, like
A Kind Voice Radio.
And
From the radio with a kind voice.
they all came from Bruce. When we started the radio shows, we started the music show, he was our very first host. So I'm going to play a little snippet of Bruce from the first radio show and our very first song by Pete Kramer, who would become Bruce's co-host.
Hello. Welcome to A Kind Voice Radio on Music. My name is Bruce Grammel, and I'm excited to be with you here today. Right now, I would like to play a little music for you. And the song that I'm going to play is by my good friend, my good Buffalo friend, Pete Kramer. And the name of the song is What If?
Came over, would you let me in? What if I came over tonight? Would you let me stay, or would you turn me away? What if I came over tonight? Start talking about the old times. Opened up a bottle or two of wine. Would you think that I'm just wasting both our time? What if we start talking tonight? I leaned over to kiss you. Would you kiss me back or push me away? If I said that I love you, would you say you love me too? What if I should kiss you tonight? If I came over, would you let me in?
That was What If by Pete Kramer, and he's a wonderful songwriter from Buffalo, New York, and my friend. And through the magic of radio, Pete just happens to have called in and is on the line with us. Hello, Pete.
Bruce Almighty, how are you?
Hey, there he is. There he is. You're going to be my savior today, my friend. Oh, my goodness. some of you that are listening out there are going to fully realize that I am not a talk show host, but the way I look at things, you're not anything until you try for the first time. So,
And
Pete, I'm glad to have you here with me.
Fantastic job, sir.
Let me put my boots on. You're being very kind, Pete, and that's what we're here for, a kind voice. So I appreciate your kind words. So let's talk a little bit about you. Enough about me.
I love Pete's song, What If? And it really translates well to a kind voice. And back to Craig's song, what if I can be a kind voice for you, and you can be a kind voice for me, and we could create this alchemy of kindness. Now, our next song is about the journey of when new friends meet. It's called A New Kind of Stranger. It's by Jackie Sander. And before I play the song, I want to play some snippets from our phone line volunteers to give you a more specific idea of what a kind voice calls would sound like. Now, our call line is temporarily closed, but it's a big part of the long-term vision to reopen the call line as soon as possible. Now, here are some of the volunteers telling the story in their own words.
Hey, how you doing, Marianne?
Hi, guys.
Good to talk to you.
A kind voice has provided space for people to talk and communicate and chat on anything from personal situations to movies, music, travel, news. So it encompasses a wide variety of topics.
As we were talking about the Eagles and abilities, and it was so natural. It was just sort of like all of my stress went away, and I got lost in the conversation about something that felt like home.
Just a kind voice in that time of need.
Or just to chit-chat about things that, you may not have in common with your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother or even a best friend. To be able to talk with someone that possibly you've been feeling that they don't get me. A kind voice is here for that, and that's what my voice.
I feel that I've connected with so many people.
We as volunteers get to know each other as kind voices as well.
I just want to do something nice. It can be my fuel.
And at the end of the day, if I have impacted someone's life in a positive way because of my voice, then that's great. That's what a kind voice is here for.
You seem like such an inspirational woman, and I hope that we can speak again soon.
I hope so, too.
So those were the volunteers, and they make beautiful music themselves. But Jackie's song uses a more nuanced language of music to translate what they do into this beautiful song. This is Jackie Sander singing A New Kind of Stranger.
Well, hello, fellow soldier, how's your day? Come take my arm, let's walk and sink away. I want to know your thoughts now, yes, it's true. And that bluebird, he flew by now just for you. Just step outside, you don't know who you'll meet. Feel the pitter-patter of the street. Join the crowd and sing in harmony. I won't let go, come link elbows with me. Just know that I am there for you, to hear your voice, to care, to lend a hand. In this moment, we will work together and turn a new kind stranger to a friend. I'll walk down that lonely road alone, searching for a place to call home. The path is long, we cannot see the end, our souls. That cup of cheer you're drinking sure tastes sweet. I'm glad that your acquaintance I did meet. Ooh, and just know that I am there for you, to hear your voice, to care, to lend a hand. In this moment, we'll work together to turn a new kind stranger to a friend. Ooh, and just know that I am there for you, to hear your voice, to care, to lend a hand. In this moment, we'll work together to turn a new kind stranger to a friend. Friend, 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 friend,
Boy, Jackie's song really nailed it about it. In this moment, we'll work together and we'll be there for each other and join in hands and being kind voices for each other. In the randomness of life, it's about interconnectivity and just being a kind voice for somebody else not only helps that person, but helps yourself, because you're sharing the best of yourself. So it's a very, very beautiful thing, and Jackie articulated it so well. Next, I'm going to play a segment about one of the people who inspired her kind voice, talking about kindness, and she later came on one of our radio programs. Here's a little bit from Sarah Adams Nolan.
Hello there. Welcome, friends and soon-to-be friends. This is your Kind Voice, the radio program where we interview inspiring guests about how they use their kind voices to make a difference in today's world. I'm your smiling host, the motivation champ, Dominic Damasky, and on today's show we have Sarah Adams Nolan. She's the author of the hit essay, Be Cool to the Pizza Dude, and I'm excited to have her on the show. Sarah, how you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome. So, I gotta ask you, I'm hearing so much about this essay, the Be Cool to the Pizza Dude. Where did this whole Be Cool to the Pizza Dude thing come from?
I guess I was listening to the program, the This I Believe program, and when I first heard about writing submissions, I was really interested in the idea. I started to sit down and think about how would I write this essay, how would I do this, and wrote it out, sent it in, and they asked me if they could run with it, and I said sure.
Okay, neat. Now, when you were doing it, what made you write about the pizza guy, and why did you write what you wrote?
Well, the pizza delivery dude just seems to be, the guy, the easygoing, here's your pizza, who doesn't like the pizza? It's just the ubiquitous, everybody loves pizza, so how could you not like it? So the pizza delivery dude is just the guy who's bringing that to you.
If you're ready, I'd like you to read your essay for the audience. Would you mind doing that?
Sure.
All right, let's hear it. It is Be Cool to the Pizza Dude, Sarah Adams Nolan. Is that the good pronunciation?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
If I have one operating philosophy about life, it is this. Be cool to the pizza delivery dude. It's good luck. 4 principles guide the pizza dude philosophy. Principle 1. Coolness to the pizza delivery dude is a practice in humility and forgiveness. I let him cut me off in traffic. Let him safely hit the exit ramp from the left lane. Let him forget to use his blinker without extending any of my digits out the window or toward my horn, because there should be one moment in my harried life when a car may encroach or cut off or pass, and I let it go. Sometimes when I've become so certain of my ownership of my lane, daring anyone to challenge me, the pizza dude speeds by in his rusted Chevette. His pizza light atop his car glowing like a beacon reminds me to check myself as I flow through the world. After all, the dude is delivering pizzas to young and old, families and singletons, gays and straights, blacks, whites and browns, rich and poor, and vegetarians and meat lovers alike. As he journeys, I give safe passage, practice restraint, show courtesy, and contain my anger. Principle 2, coolness to the pizza delivery dude is a practice in empathy. Let's face it, we've all taken jobs just to have a job because some money is better than none. I've held an assortment of these jobs and was grateful for the paycheck. That meant I didn't have to share my Cheerios with my cats. In the big pizza wheel of life, sometimes you're the hot bubbly cheese and sometimes you're the burnt crust. It's good to remember the fickle spinning of that wheel. Principle 3, coolness to the pizza delivery dude is a practice in honor, and it reminds me to honor honest work. Let me tell you something about these dudes. They never took over a company and, as CEO, artificially inflated the value of the stock and cashed out their own shares, bringing the company to the brink of bankruptcy, resulting in 20,000 people losing their jobs while the CEO builds a home the size of a luxury hotel. Rather, the dudes sleep the sleep of the just. Principle 4, coolness to the pizza delivery dude is a practice in equality. My measurement as a human being, my worth, is the pride I take in performing my job, any job, and the respect with which I treat others. I'm the equal of the world not because of the car I drive, the size of the TV I own, the weight I can bench press, or the calculus equations I can solve. I'm the equal to all I meet because of the kindness in my heart, and it all starts here with the pizza delivery dude. Tip him well, friends and brethren, for that which you bestow freely and willingly will bring you all the happy luck that a grateful universe knows how to return.
Lovely. First of all, you have the nicest reading voice, but there's so much meaning in the Be Cool to the Pizza Dude. I want to thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful how she talked about who you are as measured by the kindness in your heart, and not just the kindness in your heart at a good and loving moment, but at the kindness in your heart when someone cuts you off, when someone's rude to you, getting in touch with your inner kind voice. And that's what our next song is about, finding your voice, finding your inner kind voice and sharing it. It's one of our most beautiful songs, and it's by a lady named Krista Lester.
You know you have a voice somewhere inside of you. It doesn't always have the answers, but it always speaks the truth. Sometimes it's just a whisper hiding somewhere in your heart. Sometimes it won't stop screaming till you scream for it to stop, but you never really mean it. You don't want to let it go, because every time it speaks, it's saying something you need to know. And you know it's only when we hear kind voices coming together that we see how harmony inspires hidden melodies to flow. Kind voices coming together, because some songs just won't flower till they're given room to grow. We all have a voice, just the same as you. We don't always have the answers, but we also speak the truth. Every waitress, every teacher, every selfless volunteer, everybody has a voice they want somebody else to hear. And when voices come together, though they might seem worlds apart, the words they say ring truer if they're offered from the heart. And you know it's only when we hear kind voices coming together that we see how harmony inspires hidden melodies to flow. Kind voices coming together, because some songs just won't flower till they're given room to grow. Kind voices coming together, singing the harmony so every
That was Crystal Lester, and what a beautiful song about kind voices coming together and harmony, getting melodies to flow, and the harmony of people talking, creating melodies, creating the music. Sometimes music, like an anthem, can create action. Other times action creates music. And I love the metaphor of flowers because Our Kind Voice was a child of a community garden cooperative where people came together to grow things and to give of themselves, and by giving them themselves, a beautiful garden emerged. Now, all the songs you heard up to this point have been written about a call-in line, which is temporarily down. The next song is by Mr. Joshua Rich. Josh is an actor, a writer, a singer. He's like a Renaissance man. And he also has been a guest several times on our program. So we have all these different elements going on with A Kind Voice. And we came to Josh and asked him, how did these all connect? How did they weave together? And he created this song, Tapestry of Love. So this is Joshua Rich singing Tapestry of Love.
Here in our garden, we gather to share all that's inside of us, how much we care, find strengths in our differences, and reach common ground, celebrate our unity in a tapestry of loving sound. So make a kind choice with your kind voice, and united it will find our kind voices inside, which sing out in unity, creating community and bringing us together as one. Some of us make movies, some of us sing songs, some find forgiveness for a choice that was wrong. Some of us feed children, some help people in need, and all of us in our own way are planting a loving seed. When we make a kind choice with our kind voice, and united we find our kind voices inside, which sing out in unity, creating community and bringing us together as one. And each moment brings on changes, and each change helps us to see that we're all of us a part of our sweet humanity. And we each bring something special as we cultivate our soul, while the kindness deep within us makes us whole. Make a kind choice with your kind voice, and united we'll find our kind voices inside, which sing out in unity, creating community and bringing us together as one.
yes, that song just says so much. When he says here in our garden, he's talking about all the gardens out there. And by gardens, he means bodies of good work, people creating beautiful things. The song kind of points to a direction for a kind voice, that each show we do, each of the hosts are like explorers, and they go around to other people's garden, and first they celebrate how beautiful those gardens are. And then they ask insightful questions to get those gardeners to share how they got these things to grow. How did you make this beautiful garden grow? So our hosts are explorers. They're exploring, combing the world, looking for these wonderful gardens. This song also has operating procedures for creating the garden. Now, not the only operating procedures, but about making kind choices, using your kind voice, getting your internal garden right, and working outward. So I could go on all day about this song, but this is a music show, so I want to get back to some music. Here's Tyler Wolf, one of the hosts on A Kind Voice for Music, celebrating garden of blues artist Bill Phillippe.
Right now we're talking with Bill Phillippe. Let's hear some music from this wonderful featured guest. This is Come On In My Kitchen.
Come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. Woman I love, stolen my best friend. Some joker got lucky, stole her back again. You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. I know she's gone, she won't come back. I took that last nickel out her nation's sack. You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. Don't you hear the wind howl? But don't you hear the wind howl? You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. Woman gets in trouble, everybody throws her down. Looking for a good friend, no one can be found. You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. Well, that time coming, it's gonna be slow. You can't make that winter big, oh, it's right on so. You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors. Don't you hear the wind howl? Baby, don't you hear the wind howl? You better come on in my kitchen. It's gonna be raining outdoors.
One of the purest forms of original American music. I love the blues. I love that gritty, sort of scary, raw Dirtiness. It's amazing. Tell us a little bit about that song there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's a Robert Johnson tune that I arranged slightly differently than the original Robert version. When I started playing Delta blues, one of the promises that I made to myself that I broke was I was not going to play Robert Johnson, because similar to what I was talking about earlier about Blind Willie Johnson and how, these guys are like, it's perfect. Don't mess with it. Don't try to replicate it. Just enjoy it. Go make your own way. And but what I found was as I started building the repertoire and listening to different folks and figuring out what songs really like spoke to me that I wanted to play, there were so many great Robert Johnson songs that I was like, man, you got to figure out a way to play these tunes. And so that song in particular was the first Robert Johnson song that I learned to play, and it took a really long time because if you're familiar with Robert's original version, he plays slide on that, and I don't play slide, and I invested some time in trying to figure out if I wanted to do that, but I figured out that I wasn't fluid enough at it and comfortable enough at it that I could speak with it like I wanted to, but I could do that with my just playing fretted. And so I took this approach that this Chicago blues guy taught me, a guy named Steve Freund. I could tell you stories about Steve Freund all day long. It'd be two whole shows on Steve Freund, how badass Steve is. But he taught me this particular style of rhythm playing that's called G position, where you're basically doing a G chord down at the open frets or down at the nut, and by using kind of a piano player approach or a Mississippi John Hurt kind of thing, you pick out melody notes while you're thumping on this big fat G note at the bottom. And that when I took that approach to this Robert Johnson song, I found kind of like my way in to the Robert Johnson material. I found this like different way to go at it that wasn't, Eric Clapton playing Robert Johnson or John Hammond playing Robert Johnson or Robert Johnson playing Robert Johnson, but Bill Phillippe playing Robert Johnson.
Cool.
And so that's one of my favorite songs to play because, like you said, I mean, it's gritty, it's raw, there's so much sadness and sorrow in those lyrics. I mean, that's, if you ask me what's an example of a blues song, that's a blues song.
So Bill was talking about the different seeds out there and the rich history of the blues and how he works with those seeds to create his own wonderful garden. We're going to take a quick break for our Good News Report, and we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, I'm Brianna Dinsher. Welcome to the Good News Report, where we deliver happy and exciting news from all over the world. Today we have a special story from Hillsboro, Oregon, where a 64-year-old woman, Rose Hill, happened to notice that she began to lose bits of her memories from the past. The doctors were unfortunately unable to find what was wrong with her or why she was even having these problems of forgetfulness in the first place. While this was happening in her life, another miracle tied to this story was occurring at a Goodwill outlet. Sarah Redlick, who happened to work at Goodwill, discovered a few love letters who were coincidentally addressed to Rose Hill. There is no explanation of how the letters ended up being there or who even brought them there in the first place, but they did significantly impact Rose Hill. Sarah decided to find Rose herself and deliver the long-lost letters into her hands. The letters turned out to have been written by Rose Hill's ex-husband in 1973 while he was in the Vietnam War. To Rose, this was truly a blessing because she was able to recover some memories from her past with the help of these letters. Rose explained, "You smell the smells, You hear the sounds. You feel like you are back in time and place. I think this is a remarkable story, and it is great to know that even simple things can really change someone's life. Definitely a big thank you goes out to Sarah, who discovered the letters in the first place and brought them to Rose. I especially love that she took the time to find Rose Hill and give back what you might say her long-lost treasures. It is as if Sarah knew that Rose needed those letters, especially at that time, to recover her memories and relive these precious moments. Sarah really helped Rose connect with a kind voice from her past, as should many do as well in this world. To go along with this week's story, I have chosen a quote by Mara Butanis. If you learn to listen for clues as to how I feel instead of what I say, you will be able to understand me much better. Thank you all for listening to this week's report, and I hope this story has inspired you more today. I will see you all guys next time. Bye!
And welcome back to A Kind Voice on Music. I'm your host, David Levins, and our show is part of the bigger mission of A Kind Voice, which is to make the world a kinder, more connected place, one conversation at a time. So I'm so glad that all the voices you heard so far on the show have joined the mission, because they weren't just echoing what a kind voice is, but creating the narrative for what a kind voice could be, to make the world a kinder, more connected place, one conversation at a time. We need lots of kind voices joining the conversation. So if you want to add your voice to the conversation, you can email me, David, at akindvoice.org, and we could find a way to work together. Or if you see some good news in your area that you would like included on the Good News Report, go to akindvoice.org/news and let us know about it. The next part of our show features Kenny Fulton telling us what a garden can be, what a musical garden can be, when he helped his guest Jensen Mentor Cox share his garden with us.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of A Kind Voice on Music. I'm your host, Kenny Fulton. I'm so glad you've taken the time out to join us once again for another amazing show with another amazing guest. You know, I tell you guys all the time, I love what I do. I love music. I love every aspect of it. So I took the time today because I wanted to explain a few things to you today about our guest. And so I took the time today I wanted to define music. I wanted to look up the definition of music. Music can be defined as an art of sound in time that expresses ideas and emotions in significant forms through the elements of rhythm, melody, harmony, and color. I say that today because my guest is not a singer by right. He's not a musician by right, other than using the instrument of his vocal cords. He is a spoken word artist. And, you know, so I brought him on today because he has some amazing tracks. He has some amazing messages in his music, you know, and yes, it is music. I call it music because according to the way music is defined, you know, it's just using sounds, you know, using color, using rhythms, you know, anything that we use that will bring about a certain feeling, I consider to be music. So, you know, some of the tracks that we're going to play today have music backing him in his spoken word and some don't. But whether they have, you know, musical instruments backing them up or harmony or melody, I still consider it music because he's bringing about a great message and he's bringing about a certain feeling in us. And that, to me, is what defines music. So I have this awesome gentleman on. His name is Jensen Mentor Cox. I want you guys to hear something from him. The song is called Transformer.
I'm a poet. Poetry's transforming me, right?
I'm a poet. Poetry's transforming me, right? I'm not even who I am yet. And in the grand scheme of things, I can finally catch my dreams from a destiny of a plan set. It was written like hieroglyphics in the clouds. To be more specific, I couldn't decipher the codes. My insecurities were too loud. But at some point, my innocence cannot be forgiven like an adolescent child. See, I won't be young forever. And learning on the fly signifies to never say never in this cold world, butt naked without a sweater. I didn't know much about the struggles of a legitimate go-getter. I had to take baby steps before I can walk in my destiny. The whole time, though, it was another set of footprints in the sand walking next to me. So after years of frustration and temptation getting the best of me, and procrastination and stints of incarceration getting the rest of me, it was hard to see or comprehend that this was just a test for me. Old people, places, and things is a pretty stagnant recipe, but the beauty in learning how to cook is you can always change the ingredients. Every time I stay obedient to discipline, a certain level of amazing kicks in. Call it the transformation from Jensen to mentor. The challenge was to get both of them on one accord. Silly of me to think that I can do that without incorporating the Lord. It was the one missing ingredient that I didn't have before. The birth of this poet emerged from homelessness, jail time, and addiction, washing away my sins and hanging them on a crucifixion. Somebody nailed my microphone, a pen and paper to my hands without permission. Then I used that blood dripping down as ink to make a whole nation listen. Listen!
I'm not even who I am yet. Still trying to remember things I promised not to forget. Red or blue pill, I ain't decided yet. Truth and illusion ain't collided yet. Hard to look forward to the future while staring at the sutures. Trying to forget the pain, but the scars remain. You know, the uglier the oyster, the prettier the pearl. So when you see a pretty girl, know she's been through hell. They say big girls don't cry, but I stayed with Kleenex. Rose from the ashes, call me the phoenix. I done came a long way from a suicidal teen. Turned those nightmares to dreams. I'm bursting at the seams. I've outgrown these statistics, and I'm over quick fixes. So I write these poems with the conviction of scriptures. I'm hungry, and it's dinner time. I'm a feline turned canine. I'm liberating minds like poetry did mine. I live through these lines. I'm a lioness in a lion's den. I got a life sentence. I'm forever with this pen. So tell them I'm guilty. Beautiful things grow from dirt. My past is filthy. So imagine when mentor says I'm a mentor. This is what the struggle was meant for. I go the distance like I was sent for. I was born to transform. It may rain when I brainstorm. It may rain when I brainstorm.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Transform. Man, listen, I want to ask you a question, man. When did you first fall in love with spoken word?
I fell in love with spoken word poetry when I walked into the Literary Cafe and Poetry Lounge back in 2008. I met a guy by the name of Will the Real One, and he inspired me, man, just by everything that he was doing there. And I started off rapping. You know, I thought I was a rapper. And what I learned about poetry is that it has a lot more substance and creativity, and it's more in-depth, because a lot of the rap music today is lacking that substance. So I gravitated toward poetry then, back in 2008, and the rest was history.
I hear that.
Wow, what a powerful poem. In that poem, Jensen says he's not even who I am yet. I'm not even who I am yet. And his ability to recognize that fully grown tree in the seed or in the partially grown tree, and to see what will materialize and to articulate what it will look like when it materializes, because that's a thing of beauty. And Jensen also has a beautiful garden, and each of the gardens that our hosts have shared on A Kind Voice are all beautiful in their own unique way. We're going to pause for a few moments, and we'll be right back.
A lot has changed from when Nola Osh started school until the time she finished.
When I received my diploma, it was a big to-do.
At 95 years young, Nola became the world's oldest college graduate.
If we don't concentrate on our ages, we go ahead and do things as if we were younger.
So no matter how old you are, live life and pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
A Kind Voice Radio.
And welcome back to A Kind Voice on Music. I'm your host, David Levins, And on this show, we put a lot of things on the table. We put some beautiful music by a very wide range of artists and styles. We talked about our radio programs and our call-in line. And we talked about gardens. And now I'd like to talk about how it all connects, how it all ties together into one cohesive mission. We started off as a call-in line, and everybody understands crises call-in lines, where if you're in a crisis situation, you call this line, and there's somebody there to help you. But we were doing something a bit different. We're kind of a hybrid between a radio call-in show where you call in to talk about sports or news, and a peer counseling call-in line. And with a kind voice, the call-in line, people had to come to us. So we wanted to create a vehicle where we went to the people with kind voices telling good stories about the positive things going on. So that's why we created a Kind Voice Radio, which is now heard on affiliates. And the more affiliates we're heard on, the easier it will be to project our kind voices outward and let people know this call-in line exists, and it exists for a very authentic purpose, for people to be kind voices for each other. In each conversation, we fulfill our mission, which is to make the world a kinder, more connected place, one conversation at a time. Be it a call-in conversation or a radio show conversation where we project outward. And it's very much a garden metaphor, by working a community garden metaphor, by working together to grow a plant, as in Joshua's song. You're creating something bigger than yourself. You're creating a garden bigger than yourself. And each conversation, kind voices work together to create something bigger than themselves, the conversation, the radio show, whatever we're working on together. So that's it for tonight's show. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a great week and bring your kind voice to whatever conversation you're in. And we're going to close out the show with Hayden Kaye's song, Kind Voices Coming Together.
Feeling all alone in the desert place, wanting someone who understands, reaching for some hope, wondering what you'll find. No worries, my friend.
Share what's on your mind. In genuine conversation, let good energy flow beyond positive sensation. We're all in this life adventure, and all we need is kind voices coming together. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Sharing your ideas with a friendly voice, creating a love of life that won't end, bringing forth experience and what you know. Call today, my friend.
Share what's on your mind. In genuine conversation, let good energy flow beyond positive sensation. We're all in this life adventure, and all we need is kind voices coming together. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Let
together. All we need is kind voices coming together.